solution, and then I will also slightly talk about my yayasan and also the application. There's only one slide about the application, but it's fine. I think we just start like this, and hopefully some people get involved. And then later on, I'm already discussing with Ibu Maila and Ibu Evi. Perhaps soon we would like to join you also again on the campus and hold the presentations there. So hopefully we can make an agreement about Yuyun or UIN.
Yes.
How do you pronounce?
UIN.
Internationally would be UIN, right?
International will be UIN.
Right.
Okay. Wevi, maybe you want to say hello to Benedict?
Hello, Benedict and Bu Eno.
Hi. Hi, Ibu Evi. Thanks for the invitation again. And indeed, with me now is Ibu Eno, our community manager.
Yes.
Maybe Eno, you can say hi.
Ya. Hai. Hai Bu Eno. Ya, selamat datang.
Makasih. Kemarin kita ada teleponan ya.
Ya. Okay.
Yeah. So on a side note, after this presentation, we will send the final cut of the first episode of DAAD/Bule/UIN. I send it to Ibu Maila and to you, Ibu Evi, for your basically notification. And tomorrow we will publish on Instagram our 3 accounts. Okay, so we will upload Bule Sampa and
in your account. Yeah. Collaborate with UIN Jakarta.
Betul, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Slash UIN Jakarta, because if you only say UIN, there will be a lot of UIN.
Up to you. I mean, the more the better, right? But if you only have it in, if you want the traffic on your account only, then we choose UIN Jakarta.
It's
up to you. But okay, we can go like this. Yep. In total, we have 5 episodes, right? We start with that one. And then there are also 2 which focus more on Indonesian students in Germany. And then we have another 2 that focus on Green Campus in Indonesia, and respectively one with Ibu Maila about environmentalism and Islam on your beautiful mosque on the campus. And that one also we will make it a collaborated post later on. Yeah. In any case, nice to see many students joining now. Yeah.
The student will join gradually, and then later, maybe after 15 minutes of the program, there will be more than 100, hopefully. So usually we are going to play the introduction of the conference video before we start, and then later I will introduce the moderator and the speaker, which is you, Benedict, and then also later the discussion will be led by the moderator, Ibu Eni. Ibu Eni is already here. Wait a second. Bu Eni sudah di sini. Ya. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to session 3 of the Green Thing International Conference on Innovative Interdisciplinary Science for an Inclusive and Sustainable Future. It is truly a pleasure to welcome all of you, distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and participants from around the world. This event's theme, Towards Resilient Societies, the synergy of religion, education, health, science, and technology, embodies our collective commitment to shaping a more inclusive and sustainable future. This conference is organized by the Center for International Cooperation, led by its director, Professor Maila Dinia Husni Rahim, Ph.D., and is proudly supported by the Institute of Research and Community Empowerment and under the direction of Professor Amelia Fauzia, Ph.D. We also extend our gratitude to UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta, led by our rector, Professor Asef Saifuddin Johar, Ph.D., for their unwavering support. We are excited and humbled by the participation of thought leaders and innovators from across the globe. Your contribution through the papers you've submitted will be published by Taylor and Francis, ensuring that your work reaches a wider audience. Let's use today as an opportunity to learn from one another, collaborate, and inspire new ideas. Thank you all for being part of this important event. This session is titled Environmental Activism on Social Media at bule_sampah, where we will explore how social media can be harnessed to raise awareness and promote environmental activism. We are honored to have with us a distinguished speaker, Benedict Wermter. Welcome. Known as @bule_sampah on Instagram, representing Veritas Edukasi Lingkungan Indonesia. This session will be moderated by Ms. Eni Supriyanti Roshidatun as MA, a dedicated expert in environmental science and advocacy. Before we begin, let's first watch a short video profile introducing our moderator. Thank you for that introduction. The session will run from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Jakarta time, and we encourage everyone to actively participate by submitting questions through the Zoom platform. And without further delay,
Recording in
I now hand
progress.
over the session to our moderator, Ms. Eni Supriyanti Roshidatun, MA, to lead us through this engaging session. Ms. Eni, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Pak Zikri. Hi, everyone. Is the weather okay for you now? Good. Okay, thank you, Bang Bule. Oh, sorry. I think I already feel too closer to you, Bule Sampah, because we have, I think, like chemistry very close. Okay. First of all, please allow me to be the moderator of this session. Actually, the committee contacted me a few days ago and a bit confused because I have another agenda today, which is related to this topic because we in our faculty have West Bank. So today the agenda will be collecting the waste from the Civitas Academica from in the campus, and also they're bringing their waste from their own house. So it is a bit hectic for me, but hopefully everything will be okay. And I'm very happy because we already have Bang Bule Sampah here with us, and I'm sure that many of us here already know because he's so famous, I think, in the social media. Yeah, so I don't think I have to introduce you, but I'm sure the committee already prepared something, maybe the CV for introduce for those who haven't known about Mr. Benedict Wermter. So yeah, before the CV or the profile of Bang Bule Sampah, do you know about pantun, Mr. Benedict?
I know about what? Sorry.
Pantun.
No.
No, you don't know about pantun. So actually it is like rhyme.
Okay. So you make your sampah rhyme now?
Yeah, because I think many of us like pantun in the beginning of an event. So please allow me to do that. And for those of you, may I have your cakep little bit? Okay?
Cakep.
Get ready. No, it haven't started yet. Okay, get ready. Going around Pulau Bali.
Cakep.
Enjoying the beach and the weather.
Cakep.
We are all here very happy
Cakep.
to have you, Mr. Benedict Wermter.
Hey.
So please, for the committee, if you want to post the CV.
Wow.
Thank you. So, Ibu, Bapak, teman-teman, ladies and gentlemen, so we already have Mr. Benedict. Should I call you Benny only?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Okay, because I heard that some people call you Benny, so it's
yeah, that's fine. That's
from my tongue.
Or yep.
And I heard that you
socialize with students. Benny is totally fine.
Okay, so I heard that you got cold, some fever. So I hope you're getting well soon.
Thank you. It's not my best condition, but I feel very honored to be able to present here today and to talk to you. And I'm very I really love the introduction, both the rhyme, but also how you presented my CV. That's, yeah. I even saw my hometown where I studied, so that fills me with a bit of pride here. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I'm really looking forward also later to your questions, whatever you always wanted to ask an environmental KOL. Please, everybody, don't be shy later. I love tough questions and tough questions even, so feel free later on, yeah?
Okay. Well, actually, we are grateful to have you because we know our Earth is not okay today. Well, the climate changing and the global warming is here. We already feel the change. Well, if I compare to my childhood area, it's very different. Here in my area, the weather is so hot now, and we cannot predict the weather. Usually we for our country, which is tropical country, we simply predict the weather 6 months. For the rainy season is in the month that have birth at the end of the name of the month. For example, September, October, November, December until April. So it is now become a bit difficult to predict that. So, and some people, many scientists also say that it is because of the global warming. Well, yeah, we have to do something because we live in this planet that is already crowded, is already have shortage of resources. We don't know how, if we don't, or if we just don't care about our environment. So ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Ibu, teman-teman, let's get our attention to what will Benny share with us today. And he already welcomed you if you have any question or response on what's on the topic. So Benny, time is yours, please.
Really? You can see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so thanks again for the opportunity. Terima kasih untuk undangan Bule Sampah. By the way, it's not only Bule Sampah _ but also on TikTok and YouTube. You find Bule Sampah if you just search for it. So it's not only Instagram alone, but in total, we have now nearly 400,000 followers across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and more than 3 million usually watching the content per month, 3 million Indonesians. I'm going to talk about this today. And indeed, we bring this in the context like pollution and waste management, and the lack of waste management we will bring into context of climate change and basically the environmental movement that we have to create in this country to solve this problem. I titled my presentation Empowering the Youth in Tackling Marine Plastic Waste in ASEAN. But later on, you will see it's not only about ocean plastics even. Let me start with basically the problem, the gunung sampah, masalah sampah. Indonesia is one of the largest contributors globally to the plastic pollution, basically also by waste generation, meaning in total we have nearly 7 million tons of plastic waste alone in Indonesia that all of us together create every year. And the problem is most of that is not properly managed, meaning the usual way is a truck comes and picks it up and brings it to a TPA. But even worse, the majority of waste is even burned by people in their community, in their neighborhood. And about 600,000 tons of plastic even enter rivers and waterways. Compared to what is burned and openly dumped, this is even the minority. Why is that? It is because a lot of consumers, a lot of people in Indonesia, let's say the masyarakat, is generally rather unaware of this problem. So many people have not yet realized this as a threat to their own health and to the earth that we live on. At the same time, we don't have the necessary infrastructure yet in Indonesia and also in the other ASEAN countries, respectively in African and South American countries. Still, a scaled infrastructure with like industrial recycling is still lacking. We will also later talk about the reasons for that. And so our mission is basically to bring back the waste hierarchy. Maybe you see me sometimes doing this, 3R, mengurangi, menggunakan kembali, mendaur ulang. This is basically a hierarchy, how we should manage our waste that we produce. And so this is what I'm introducing on Bule Sampah usually. Then we have the layers of environmental change. So basically I follow a structure with what I do in terms of awareness raising and then bringing in solutions. So in the first place, that's what you see on Bule Sampah, is that we basically spotlight this issue. So we bring this onto people's plate. We do it similar like Pandawara. We basically poke a bit and we show the problem so that people start to realize this as a problem. And I can tell you the good news is many people now start to realize it is a problem, but many don't know what to do and in which order. So the next layer will be, we have to connect the consumption behavior to the waste disposal. This is what many people have difficulties with, meaning your everyday consumption, how many tiny bottles you consume or a sachet, this immediately makes a difference to the waste that we all produce. And unfortunately in Indonesia, many people want to rather clean up before they change their consumption behavior. This is something we need to fix. So this is also part of this layer of environmental change. And so then we strategically explain on our platforms reduction solutions, reuse models, but also how recycling works and which role you as a young generation or even us as lecturers play in that context. Last but not least, a lot of industries pump millions and millions of dollars now into Indonesia without teaching people strategically. This means that we have to connect households to the waste infrastructure. That is a general problem. Somebody drawing on this. Okay, the next thing is prevention versus harm reduction. You see that a lot of initiatives in Indonesia now focus on harm reduction, meaning disaster relief. You know Pandawara, you know similar groups. All they do is basically cleaning up is a drop in the ocean. So you cannot clean up enough waste so that it makes a difference. That's one of the problems. We can try to strategically reduce the harm that we all make on the environment, but it all starts with prevention. It starts with basically not generating any waste in the first place. So this is why one of my messages to you, if you see people cleaning up and it becomes viral and stuff, yes, to some extent that is raising our awareness, but the problem is that it is basically not part of waste management. So the next day the waste is there again, and this one is what we have to understand. If you really want to make a change, you don't go down the river and clean up. That's a responsibility of the government and the industries. What we as consumers can do is overthink our consumption behavior. So overall, the term for this is willingness to change. Please commit to this issue as a young person so that you want to change. And then the next step, let's work together on that we change our behavior in everyday life. That's something that is really important. So yeah, thanks for the perfect introduction. I think this one we can nearly skip since you saw my CV and basically a bit of my background, but just a few sentences. Why Bule Sampah? It is because actually people think it's a negative term, but it's not. Sampah is nothing negative. Let's change this narrative. Sampah is something that affects all of us. It doesn't need to be a taboo. There's even value in waste. So let's think of Sampah as something that we all need to engage with. So this is why, in my opinion, Bule Sampah doesn't mean white trash. Nevertheless, it is a sticky name, right? And many people don't forget. And it's also quite simple in a way. That's why I choose that name. And I'm also not an influencer. So we are not hard selling anything. It's more really influencing on people's mindset, not on people's buying decisions. But I want to influence on what people think, which opinions they have. So in my opinion, this is truly a key opinion leadership and not so much influencing. Last but not least, I'm just the guy in Bulu Sampah, but generally what we want to do is feature a lot of initiatives across this country, even your university, because you are improving your campus, becoming a green campus. So this is something relevant to us. We want to highlight and be the megaphone of the environmental movement in this country. Here you see some statistics from our dashboard. Probably many of you never saw this. This was June and July this year. There we had a bit bigger reach. Sometimes it's going up and down. Nevertheless, it's usually somewhere between 2, 4, 5 million people per month that watch our content on Instagram alone. And I show you these metrics because it's important to see 96% Indonesians watch this content because it's in Bahasa Indonesia. But because, in my opinion, we have to enlighten people in this country and not talk about the issues in Indonesia in another country. This is why I'm actually pretty proud of that we reach so many Indonesians. And if people come from cities, it is mostly Jakarta. And also it is important to know that Bulu Sampah is not a kids platform. So down there you see the numbers. I almost reach no kids. So I hope today you guys follow, and many of you will be in 18 to 24 group. We can raise that a bit, but just important to understand, Bulu Sampah is there for everybody. And even Ibu watching it, as you can see, and also a lot of people in my age as a millennial watch this content. So I'm trying to make it simplified and attractive for everybody, that everybody can find something on this platform. Just saying, because many people say social media is just for kids. That's not true. We can definitely bring in informative and high quality content on that platforms. This one we touched a bit already. Basically, the lack of infrastructure is what we need to fix. So we also need to build capacity in society in terms of waste management. Otherwise, Indonesia has a huge economic growth, so there will be investments made. But again, if there is no capacity in society, then all this money is wasted. So this is why I earlier told you, you have to connect households and all our communities to the infrastructure. Nevertheless, at the moment, it is still also a lack of infrastructure and a lack of strategic upscale, meaning our government and many stakeholders in this country have not yet defined a clear strategy. How are we going to communicate what we need to do in terms of waste management as consumers? I started it now, but we need more people to engage with, and we need a proper strategy in this country with specific KPIs, like key performance indicators, where we want to be in 10 years, for example, in terms of environmental education. My background, again, indeed, I did look at the plastic industry from a very critical perspective. So I, for example, uncovered illegal waste trades to Indonesia from my country, from Australia or the US. This is something I was looking into. Also, I was looking into how industries are fooling us by claims they make. Maybe you can think of the mineral water companies in this country. They are fighting a bit about market shares, and sometimes they come up with very, let's say, bold claims, green claims that you can question. And this is something I was looking into as a journalist, how consumers get sometimes misled, and it's even fraud, can be fraud, how industries are fooling us, right? Yep. And then last but not least, for your information, I'm married in Indonesia and I love this country, and I'm here for 6 or 7 years now or something. And I'm proud to be part of this society and the country, spending most of my time here per year. So if people ask me why Indonesia, yeah, it's also because I just fell in love with the country a bit, and that plays a role for your professional life too, right? Then I show you these videos as a sample because it's important. We don't need to watch the videos now. I hope later you go on the platform, perhaps follow, and then you will see some of the videos hit some millions and you can check them out. I'm showing these because it's important to see that these videos went viral because we introduced technology from other countries, for example. So many people in Indonesia still want to see how other countries solve the problem. And that's something we introduce on our platform. Also, black soldier flies, we not only talk about plastic waste, we also talk about organic waste. And we should think of that always, because that's the other big piece of the puzzle. So, and even we create more organic waste than plastic waste per year. So we should always think in waste management as a holistic thing when it comes to environmental friendly behavior. And then organic waste also plays a role. And there are solutions how to manage it. For example, make animal feed out of it or compost it. So this content also works quite well. Yep. And then perhaps if you want to engage, if you want to copy us, then feel free to produce your own environmental content or just become an ambassador of waste, and ambassador we call them. You can join our movement and our programs. But what we need to do is we have to make it simple and sometimes even funny, so that the majority of people who doesn't really care, they somehow have to get attracted to it. And also what we always do and what you can do is follow the principles of storytelling in this. So opening with a problem, we always have to communicate the problem and then the solution, and that's usually people want to see it. And then I highlight this every time I present to young people. If you engage in environmentalism and waste management, don't basically start to make it in English and think of a forum in Switzerland or something where you want to join, but think of it for Indonesians, right? Never forget where we come from. The majority of people that need to receive information is in Indonesia and not in the World Economic Forum in Switzerland or something. So far about that. A few sentences about my yayasan. So I have Bulu Sampah is not the only thing we are doing. I have a team now of 10 people, and we run other programs. And all this is part of Yayasan Veritas Edukasi Lingkungan. So our approach is we bring holistic environmental education into society, and we do it digitally. So we usually don't go from door to door. Would be happy to join your campus again and present to you in person. But the idea is we provide our content in the digital sphere, such as in social media or as an application, so that we can reach many people at the same time. And I hope you like that idea, and feel free to come to our website and check out what we do there. You also get more information about Bulu Sampah. And then last but not least, we have an application called Sampap, the Sampah app. This is so, sorry, somebody is, yeah, thank you. Somebody wants to bring me a new pillow because I'm a little bit sick, and after this, I'm gonna go sleep again. So Sampap is the other big program that we do with Bulu Sampah. So Sampap is the Sampah app, and please check out your iOS or Android system, go in the stores, and you can screen the QR down there. This is hosted by me, so there is more educative video content from our side, and we even have animations, and it's like a game. So there you can strategically get the information you need in order to understand what you can do now to solve this problem. We teach you in this waste game how you can basically make a difference in terms of reduce, reuse, and recycle. For example, also when it comes to recycling, how you separate your waste and which role, for example, the Pemulung in your community plays. All this is what we explain in this gamified waste app. So please give Sampap a visit and feel free to play around in the app. Later on, I will come again to your campus and probably we can make sessions about this, but today I'm just highlighting it in the first place here. And then I think I'm coming to an end. This is open source, so you can feel free to leave messages here for us, either via email or DM us on Instagram. We usually answer everybody as long as it is a serious question. I'm happy to basically also assist you one-on-one if you want further information or you need to know something. So this is my presentation for today. I'm stop sharing my screen and I hope you found it engaging. I still see 152 people watch, so that's a good sign. And let's jump into the discussion. I hand my word over again to the presenter.
Okay, thank you very much, Benny. I think that's clearly explain who you are and what's the activity you and the yayasan already made in our country. And yeah, I actually also watch because your short video is coming on my cell phone as FYP. So so it's a bit familiar. So I think because the audience 100% come from our country, so it's okay if we use our bahasa as mix. We in Indonesia, you know, campur sari, we use Indonesian and also English. Oke, saya ingin memastikan teman-teman audiens bisa mengikuti dengan baik ya. Jadi Pak Benedict ini sudah banyak yang dilakukan karena beliau peduli dengan kondisi Indonesia terkait dengan sampah dan lain-lainnya terkait dengan lingkungan secara umum. Dan tadi yang sempat saya garis bawahi adalah karena latar belakang beliau adalah jurnalis, jadi sempat menelusur tentang impor sampah ya, atau bagi negara Pak Benedict itu ekspor sampah secara ilegal. Jadi ironis, it is ironic that we are as still developing country ya, still developing country to get the waste from imported waste from other countries. So tapi itu hanya satu masalah, tapi yang utamanya adalah kita saat ini sebagai konsumer sehari-hari semua apa yang kita gunakan, apa yang kita konsumsi itu hampir menghasilkan sampah. So it is very important for us to underline that the waste is not only government's responsibility, but it is our responsibility. Well, especially because we are Islamic campus, Ben, in our religion, it is stated that everybody is a leader, and everybody will be asked the responsibility of whatever on his own. Jadi sampah termasuk apa yang menjadi tanggung jawab kita masing-masing. Karena kita semua tidak bisa melempar tanggung jawab kepada orang lain. Well,
not only that, right? Let me just add that even the Prophet was basically promoting that resources should be handled carefully and should be not squandered. Right. And should be kept in a loop. So the idea of circular economy is already there in Quran very early. And so indeed we cover that also. We will cover this on content that you will see in a couple of weeks on Buddha Sampah. And another thing about the waste import, I can tell you the majority of waste in Indonesia is not even illegally imported, but fully legally imported. Why? Because local recyclers cannot get their hands on clean waste from Indonesia because there is no proper collection system. That's why they prefer to get it from other countries, and we become the laundry of the world and export it again to other countries. This is a sick system. So, but that's definitely, we have it in our hands how we handle our own waste here. The more we collect and properly manage ourselves, the less will be imported, just to clarify.
Okay, thank you. Well, that's become more complicated for me because yeah, that's not my area. Sometimes I just give motivation to our student that just do what we can do in our circle, because if we think about our nation, that's so big thing. So just do what we can do in our circle. For example, what we do from we waking up to we get sleep, the activity that produce waste. So how to minimize that, how to manage that. Oke, teman-teman yang ada pertanyaan atau mau sharing sehingga diskusi ini bisa bermakna, silakan boleh raise hand secara langsung menyampaikan, atau ada yang mau menyampaikan di chat box juga akan saya bacakan.
Sudah ada 2
Anybody?
pertanyaan Bu di chat box. Silakan Ibu.
Yeah. I want to allow that want to open mic first before we go to the chat box. Anybody? 3, 2, 1. So let's go to the chat box. Okay. First, it's from Pak Sadawi.
Yeah, okay. So Pasadawi is saying that social media is an important platform to basically campaign for awareness raising, yet it doesn't have the necessary impact. At the same time, there are people who don't have access to social media. So how do we handle this, right? That's a very important points here, and actually a good point to start a discussion even for you after this session. So true. Social media, at the moment, we are in a very pioneer early phase, right? So we just start here, not only me, but also the other environmental movements that you see have just recently started to produce their content. And this will take time. So you will see that the awareness raising we do and the education we do on social media, it will have an impact, but it needs definitely more time and even more funding. I can tell you many people like what we do, but who's paying for this service, right? This also needs to be clarified. We need more government in this. We need more support. The government is also basically running whole presidential campaigns on social media and investing millions and millions there. So where is the investment made for environmental education in social media? And the industries also have to basically involve and pay for that. Nevertheless, the impact of social media should not be to mobilize people to clean up a river, but basically to mobilize people to, for example, don't buy any sachet if you can afford a big shampoo bottle and stuff like this. At the same time, it is true, many people in Indonesia live in rural areas, not even indigenous groups, but just people who have sometimes lack of internet, lack of pulsar. This is something we need to fix. There is no one-fits-all program here, but we need to think of specific solutions for also groups that have limited access to the internet. For example, if we do an app, we have to make our content as small as possible that people even with small pulsar or limited wideband can watch videos. Apart from that, we will need offline to online activation and socialization. So of course, if people are really, really far out there needs to be a strategy how to reach everybody. I hope that answers the questions of Pasadawi so far. Then we have Dwi Mairawati. Hi, Mba. Thanks for your question. What barriers we have observed encouraging behavior change towards more sustainable consumption? Among millennials and the Gen Z, should I tell you, it is that there is a few Gen Z people who are very, very environmentally aware and active, but then there are also a lot of people who are unfortunately apathetic to this, meaning they don't care. Why? Because they are very consumptive people. They are looking basically, they like to go shopping, they like to do all these kinds of things. They're looking for convenience, and they don't take personal big responsibility. I can even tell you that I sometimes feel like that people from low to mid-income households from rural areas have more willingness and intention to make a change than people from urban areas with high income that don't really care. That's a challenge. So please be aware of this and encourage your friends and perhaps even yourself and your family to be those who are aware and want to make a change, and not those who are selfish and don't care. I just go ahead, yeah, if you allow me, from Nabila.
Please,
How can we scale up current waste management infrastructure? There is something called extended producer responsibility, EPR. This is a system where industries pay for waste disposal. Why? Currently, Coca-Cola, Mayora, Danone, and Orang Tua, and all of them do not pay mandatorily for the packages they sell in Indonesia. So this is how we solved it in Europe, for example. Since 30 years, we require industries to pay also for the waste disposal, not only taxpayers' money, but we call it a dual system. We force industries to also pay mandatory fees for waste management for the package they use. And this is how we basically finance the sector and scale it up at the same time. Currently, your government in Indonesia is revising legislation and thinking of introducing this in the next 5 or 10 years. Let's hope it is a strong legislation that also is enforced and that we will see more financing from the industry side. So that's a bit of a technical answer from my side, but it is also a technical question about how to scale waste management. The solution is make polluters pay. This is what you can just keep in your head. And then there is a long text from Mbak Amira. This is... Apa?
Would you like me to resume that?
Yes.
Okay, so Amira is actually do the community service. It is in the very, very remote area in Lebak, Banten. But there are a lot of waste in the rivers over there. So, but it is difficult for them. The access to the place is very difficult. So they are how
to solve this?
How to solve this? Because the transportation is so challenging for them.
Indeed. That's generally one of the problems in Indonesia is the logistics of the waste sector. So 17,000 islands, no other country has is being placed in volcanic earth in a waterland. So that makes it obviously difficult to transport material, and it's getting quite expensive also.
Right.
And then obviously, what can I tell you? The idea is, again, try to help these communities to prevent their waste, that it's not gonna happen there. Like if you go there on a first meeting and they give you 150 aqua glass, then that's already the source of pollution that in the next day ends up in either burnt or in the river. So focus on that, please, first. Trying to give people easy, simple, cost-efficient solutions to reduce their waste or to prevent it even. For example, water filter machines, tumblers, refill systems. Not everything needs to be double wrapped, not every fruit. Plastics make you actually, in this case, expose you more to chemicals than they actually prevent you from toxins, if you know what I mean. So plastics itself can also be harmful for your body. So you need to do a lot of information and education around how to not make waste in the first place. And that's actually the solution for people who live very, very far away.
Yeah, so we have to underline again the 3R concept, right? Reduce, reuse, and recycle. And that's hierarchical.
Yeah, so if you look at the waste in the river and then ask yourself how to get it out there, this is, in my opinion, already too late. So then you're thinking of the very lowest part of this pyramid. So also everybody is talking about recycling because plastic industries love recycling. It gives them a reason to allow them to sell more plastics because the idea is we can recycle, but this is not how it works.
Right.
Prevention, reduction, this is the things we need to focus on. And then you will see change in this country. So let's bring this waste hierarchy in the right order again, and please promote this in the right order, ya.
Ya, jadi Amira sudah dapat jawabannya ya. Memang banyak daerah di Indonesia yang terkendala dengan transportasi karena tempatnya yang sangat terpencil. Jadi daripada memikirkan yang solusi seperti itu dan memang mahal gitu ya. Jadi mungkin kita lebih fokus pada bagaimana preventingnya gitu. Jadi mengingatkan supaya konsumsinya itu seminimal mungkin menghasilkan sampah. Di antaranya dengan tadi yang di awal tadi disebutkan oleh Ben bahwa 3R itu perlu untuk terus didengungkan. Dan itu merupakan urutan, bukan kadang ada yang sembarangan, bukan sembarangan ya, maksudnya ada yang membalik-balik recycle, reuse gitu ya. Tapi sebetulnya itu hierarkal. Pertama kita harus beriktikat mengurangi dulu. Kemudian kalau yang sudah terlanjur, reuse, gunakan kembali. Dan jika masih banyak yang sampah-sampah yang ada, maka kemudian recycle. Seperti itu.
Thanks for wrapping this up.
Uh,
So cassava stretch. So the next question from Siti Fatona.
yeah.
Thanks, by the way, for your questions. I really like them. And also thanks again for Amira for taking action in communities. That's already really great. So the next question is focusing on a term called bioplastics, cassava stretch. So basically, these are packaging solutions that are made from biologically sourced polymers, not petrochemical compounds. So that means cassava is a plastic bag made from cassava. The idea is that it is dissolving in the earth. It's compostable, and therefore it should be more environmentally friendly. Yes, that is to some extent true. It probably has a better life cycle than an actual plastic bag made from polyethylene. However, the best bag is no bag. The best single-use package is no single-use package. So think of if there is not even a more environmentally friendly solution, then anything you use single-use is becoming waste after that, is not good. So perhaps a backpack that you use for 5 years is the most reasonable solution. That's why, yes, bioplastics have potential and they can also decrease basically plastic pollution out there, but it is not a silver bullet. So be aware that industries might trick you with it. But it can be a solution if we have the necessary composting industry. You need industrial composting for that. If people just put their bioplastic cassava in the neighborhood, in the earth, in the soil, it is questionable if it will dissolve within a short time. Thanks, Dwi. Thanks, Amira. And then we have Mbak Dara dari 3D PGMI. I see you come from everywhere. That's cool. Hello, Mr. Benedict. I would like to ask landfill waste. Yep. Yep. So about the good old Gunung Sampah, right? So many people ask me all the time what to do about the TPA, how to solve this. Yeah, that's a difficult question. I think it's too late. So there is no way back. I think if you look at Bantar Gebang, we have to make a big, have to cover it up and put some methane pipes into it that the gas is still able to come out. Otherwise, it will explode. And perhaps we can put a memorial flag on top of it to make it a memorandum what we have done there over the last 40 years. But generally, the awareness raising, is working quite well. People basically, once you show them this massive Gunung Sampah and the pollution, that's our entry point where people then in the next step want to look for what can I do in the next step, right? So I will always focus on pollution in this country until the problem has become less. And then one day, hopefully it is less, and then I will probably be an old man and retire. I hope that answered your question. And then I think there is no more questions.
Yeah, concerning this landfill area, or you said Gunung Sampah, because it's becoming more and more in other areas such as we in Tangerang Selatan near Jakarta already have a Gunung Sampah in Cipecang, and it's overload also. So I think the government care about this because there are a lot of bank sampah based on community. It is in RT level, RT. So it helps to reduce the number of garbage that's bring into the landfill area. So do you
I mean, there is informal
with the bank sampah community?
Bank Sampah community has to be refurbished, or let's say scaled up again. It was an initiative before, but indeed, Bank Sampah can be part of the solution. There is a huge informal sector like Pemelung, Pengumpul, that are the people that on a daily basis actually manage our waste. this needs to be formalized into a formal sector or into a proper waste management industry, and that will help already a lot. And in the end, I can tell you also banning waste from entering the landfill will make a solution. This is what we do in Germany. We have a landfill ban, except it is toxic, hazardous waste. For some really, really special Betiga things, for example, we allow it. But generally, if you stop allowing waste to enter a TPA, then automatically there will be solutions coming up unless people illegally dump. So it is a thin line, but there is definitely also legislation and a role that the industry can play in order to improve from diverting waste from going to landfill.
Well, if we talk about the rules, well, it is a sad situation, I think, because yeah, what we can say that Indonesia is already have the rule, but the what you say law enforcement is so small, right? For example, in Tangerang Selatan, we have we ban burning the waste or the garbage, so because it makes pollution, but the like ketua RT cannot do anything if the masyarakat do the membakar sampah in their environment. So yeah, law enforcement is a bit
undang-undang, right? There is a lot of legislation, for example, throwing waste, buang sampah sembarangan, ini yang illegal juga kan, and there is legislation for that. There is legislation for different things. So enforcement is the other thing. So that's not so much a problem only about waste management, but other things in Indonesia. Let's just hope we can improve this.
Yeah. Well, we have question from Pak Sujio. 2 questions here. What is your reason for choosing Indonesia as a place for your activities regarding the environment?
And what is your response to the condition of waste management in Indonesia? Okay, so I started here as a journalist, basically, and made my expertise in the plastic industry globally, but also I understood the situation in Indonesia, and I found it quite useless to report on problems in Southeast Asia or Indonesia for Western media. So that's my main motivation, to then bring in the information for the people who mostly need it. That's basically my professional motivation. And then again, as I said earlier, I found also find the country very, very appealing and love the people here. So there's another reason why I joined in Indonesia for such a long time now. And then the condition of waste management, well, it's not, Indonesia is just a huge country. So the fact that Indonesia is a major contributor to pollution or waste generation is also correlating with the size of the country and of the population. And so basically, this is this is correlating, and therefore I think Indonesia is, let's say, not doing better or worse than other countries. So I don't want to make a conclusion on that, you know. And then there is a link to fill in for you guys, I see here.
Yeah, well, to sum up, maybe Pak Jo, jadi kondisi kita masih seperti itu. Yang jelas PR-nya masih banyak ya, Ben. The homework is so many to do. Still.
Yes, but it's not rocket science, so everybody can. It's not like learning a new language or studying a very difficult subject like chemistry or something, but it's simply just realizing everyday patterns and step by step finding the solutions to it. So I believe that, yeah, the first homework, hopefully you can follow Bule Sampa, and in the next step, download our app. And after that, in everyday life, there should be solutions available for everybody.
Okay. Well, I think because of the time and Ben also have to take rest. Yeah. Ibu, Bapak, teman-teman, ladies and gentlemen, kita sudah menjelang akhir acara. Mungkin saya tidak akan memberi kesimpulan atau summary because we all hear from the beginning to the end of this session. Saya kasih pantun in Indonesia aja ya. Boleh? Oke. Jalan-jalan ke Kalimantan banyak rotan.
Cakep.
Melihat hutan sejukkan mata.
Cakep.
Sharing dan diskusi sudah kita lakukan, saatnya kita aksi nyata. Thank you very much for me. Terima kasih Benedict dan Ibu Bapak semua. Kita cukupkan dan saya kembalikan ke Pak Zikri. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Benedict, for your insightful answers, and a big thank you for our moderator today, Ibu Eni Supriyati, for guiding the session. We would like also to thank all participants for your thoughtful questions and engagement. And before we conclude, we are going to present a certificate for both speakers and moderator. This is and only a symbolism. Maybe it will not have an effect for you, Benny, but just showing that we are appreciating you in your condition right now.
I would happy to have it in my office in Surabaya.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. There is Miss Evie over there. Okay. And for Miss Eni as a moderator. Miss Eni Supriyati Rashidatun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thanks for
much.
the opportunity, and I hope you liked the input from my side. Thanks for thanks for everything, and see you soon.
Thanks,
See
Ben.
you soon. And everyone, please join us again in this session 4 for the scholarship program related to SDGs and environmental issues, which will begin at 2:30 Jakarta time. Our esteemed speaker for the session will be Ms. Muji Rahayu, Deputy Director of the AED Regional Office in Jakarta. To join next session, I have already shared the link in the chat. And thank you again. And we look forward to seeing you shortly. Cue to the video.
I leave. Bye-bye.
Get well soon, Ben.
Thank you.
Recordings